Well, so many people have been asking me about the meditations that I do. They've seemed to bring a lot of great things in my life, and among them, money. I've got a great money manifestation technique. I have one that really helps with just getting peaceful and comfortable. But I also have this one, which is probably my most powerful one that anyone can do at home without using binaural beats and pre-recording some things. There's some things that I get pretty technical with, but this is one that anybody can do. So I strongly encourage you to consider trying it. It's really simple, and for those of you that are new to meditation, this may seem like an intimidating one. So don't feel like you have to do all of it. Just do what it calls to you, whatever portion does. There's a few things that you need to do to get set up for this one. So I'm going to break that down for you right now. Hopefully you got a pen and paper to write this stuff down. So the first thing that you want to make sure that you do before you start this one is you want to make sure you have your perfect day. Like, what does a perfect day look like to you? What happens? What time do you get up? What do you do? Do you minute by minute, basically, or key action steps that have to happen in a day for it to be a perfect day. So, most of us get out of bed and we go to the bathroom, brush our teeth, and drink our water, and then eat breakfast, right? Something kind of along those lines. Take a shower somewhere in there, and maybe have to get kids up, or maybe have to get lunches packed, or whatever it is. So you have whatever your rhythm is. So that's part of your current day. Now, how would it look like if it was perfect? What things would be done differently? Would the kids get themselves up? Would you actually have had packed the lunch the night before? Or maybe somebody was making your lunch for you in the perfect scenario, perfect day. How do things unfold? Your entire commute to work, if you go to a job that you have to actually drive to. So you want to look for all of those things in your perfect day, how you'd like it to be. So you have whatever you have now, and then what would be ideal. So what I actually do is I actually write this out for me. It was a very helpful exercise for me to get an idea of when I was doing things that weren't aligned with my perfect day, and making sure that I did those things that made my day perfect, just making sure they were activities that were on my to-do list and they were priorities on my to-do list. They weren't somewhere along the line. It was like, these three things need to happen for me to be happy. So, not every day is the same. I totally recognize that. So there's always room for, changes, and you can experiment with this. But if you take the time to write down what your perfect day looked like, if you just had an ideal day, what types of things would happen, that's a really good start before you begin this meditation, because you're going to visualize that happening during the course of this meditation. You're also going to visualize it. It requires some knowledge of visualization, where it's visualizing in present moment. And I got other videos on visualization that you can check out, and how to really do that effectively. So you have this meditation. Then you also have, or this portion of the meditation, what you're also going to have to do is write down everything that is your goals, like in 5 years from now, what your world would look like. This is important for you to get this clarity, because during this meditation, you're going to get insights. And if you don't know what you want, your insights are going to be very, very confusing, and you're not going to know how to take action on them. So the idea is the meditation doesn't make things happen for you. It gives you clarity into what you need to do and changes you need to make. And it changes you on a subconscious level, so that you have a little better beliefs and you are feeling good, so you can see the opportunities as they present themselves. It doesn't make them all happen for you. It requires your work after you're done. The meditation just gives you a nice sounding board, a platform to get these things to happen, at least this meditation. So if you have those two things completed, that is great. If you have any areas of your life where there's somebody that you haven't been maybe getting along with, right? Maybe there's like a friend of yours, or a relative, or an ex, or somebody that you have like a lot of resentment for. Writing down a list of those names too can be helpful, because there's an element of appreciation. There's also an element of gratitude. So if you're doing this meditation, I assume that you probably know the power of gratitude, the power of forgiveness, and the power of visualization is really three things you have to understand to get the most out of this. If you don't, you can still fake it. Just follow along with what I'm saying here and just do it, and you'll start to see how it works. There's too much to teach in one video. So once you've actually gotten those pieces together and you are ready to go, you want to get to a place that's really comfortable, really safe. As you can see behind me here, I've got my crystals and stones, and you don't need that stuff to do it. This is stuff that we just have collected along the way, and I can't begin to explain why, if you're not into this stuff, why it makes sense to me to have those things. You'll you either understand it or you don't, and it's fine either way. So that's something that helps me in my practice, as well as having a candle burning. And usually I'll use some like Breathe Blend or something to really open up my sinuses, get myself breathing like really clearly. So that all being said, here is the meditation. Again, this meditation assumes that you know the basics of goal setting, and you have some goals in your life, and you've used goal setting in some capacity, any capacity in your life. Visualization is very important, gratitude, and the power of forgiveness. It really will help you along with the journey of this. Again, you can actually do this without having those things. It's just a little complex. It's a lot of stuff. So what we do is, with each of these categories, we're going to do 10 breaths. And what I do is 10 breaths. If I am in a rush, I might only do 3 breaths per category, or I might do 5, whatever appeals to me. So the first step in this meditation is just doing the clearing the mind and pausing to really just see where your head's at and observe how you're feeling about things. So you're just going to do 10 breaths of that. Now, you might be able to get into that after the first breath. It might take you 20 breaths to get the mind to really slow down. Whatever is right for you, you'll know when to transition. I really haven't had a problem with getting there before 10 breaths, but just go at what you're comfortable with. Make this your own. This is your practice. It's just what I do and the steps that I take. So make sure you're really delving into it. Then the next 10 breaths, you're going to want to do gratitude. What are you grateful for? What are you appreciative? So I kind of mix those two. I'm sure you've heard me say before, gratitude is from the word gratis, which is free, and appreciation is when you want more of something. So there's some things that you're just going to be grateful for. You're going to say, I'm grateful for, or I could say I'm grateful for having this amazing house. I don't want more house. I got enough house. But I would be appreciative for the love my wife gives me. While I'm grateful, but also I'm appreciative because I have an intention that I wanted to appreciate, just like the value of this house I want to appreciate, or money in the bank. So that first step is that gratitude and appreciation. The next step, after 10 breaths of that, is forgiveness. And this is where, anybody that I feel has wronged me, or even myself, if I've screwed up and wronged somebody and I've been beating myself about it, even if I've made my own mistake, that is the big area. So, spend as much time here as you need. Don't expect to wash it all away in the first try. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe nothing pops in your head and then you can skip to the next one, because sometimes that happens too. And that's a good feeling, when you feel like, oh man, I don't feel like I have any anger towards anybody. Because then when you're angry towards somebody, it holds that energy into your body. So again, I do videos on each one of these categories and the importance of them separately, so I won't get too deep in them here. The next section you're actually going to be doing is where you live out your perfect day. And this moves into that visualization. So as you understand, you can, while you're breathing in and out, eyes closed, you're going to actually visualize what your perfect day looks like unfolding, and experience it, and experience how good it feels. And then you'll move into visualization of accomplishing your goals. So you can actually do the same exact process, but now the movie you're watching in your mind's eye, which most of us can see right up here when we close our eyes, now play that goal happening. So if it's the red Ferrari, Visualize it being pulled up to your house, on a semi trailer, as you often hear of them doing. And you come outside and they unload it for you, and you're all set to go. And you get the feeling of actually taking delivery of it, of driving it around, the whole process, how nice everybody is, how everybody's so excited for you and this new car here. You can really experience this and experience the joy that you would have driving it, experience the joy you have having your partner with you, whatever it is that calls to you, whatever your goal is. It can be a material thing. It's perfectly natural to be material. That's why we are in this third dimension. People give it a bad rap, but the reality is we're here not as spiritual beings so that we can experience material things. They don't exist in the spiritual world. So enjoy. It could just be the time you get to spend with your husband or wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you got, or seeing seeing the dog that you always wanted. It could be anything. It could be just get into the emotion, the feeling, how it would feel to have that in your life, and just get used to it happening. So you're going to do that for 10 breaths. And then you're going to just do 10 breaths of just listening to what the universe has to offer. This meditation is so incredibly powerful. So how much you get out of it is going to be depending on how much you put into it, how often you do it. It's something I did on a daily basis for a while, and it really reprogrammed my mind so that I was at much more peace and I didn't have to do it as much. But it really, if you do it more often, you're going to get there faster. So I hope you enjoy it. As for the breath, the way I do my breathing, and you may breathe a little differently, and I don't think that's going to really affect this, but the way I do it is I will breathe through my nose, inhale, and I fill up my belly first, and then my chest, and then out the mouth. So I'll actually hold my breath at the top and for a moment at the very bottom too. And what I find is that it really kind of centers me by exhaling all my air, because breath comes from the word spirit. So it's like you're emptying the spirit out of your body. You're giving to the world your breath, everything out, giving carbon dioxide to the plants. You're giving back to the earth on the exhale, and then you're receiving from the earth, from the atmosphere, from the plants on the inhale. So just like tides going in and out. So you want to have that kind of nice rolling feeling as much as you possibly can feel that. And you want to actually get as much air in your lungs as possible. So the way to do that is by really fully emptying them and then breathing into your stomach. And you get a big Buddha belly when you breathe in. And then you breathe in through your chest. So your chest will rise. So I'm going to move this and I'll demonstrate, but I'll do a demonstration with it like this first. So first, through the nose, into the belly, chest, and then exhale fully. And you're going to pause on the top. So you get the picture. I'll do one side so you can see my belly here, if we can find a way to set this camera up. And I will edit this later so you can see a little better. Will this work? So you can sit any way you want. I lie down sometimes if I feel like it, but I'll get my arms out of the way. So first is we'll try from this height here. So I'll move this back a little bit so you can see. So the air actually comes out of my chest, back into my stomach, back out, and I push the last bit out by pulling my stomach in. So that's the breathing technique to do it that I like to get the most amount of oxygen in my body and most spirit that's out there. You want to fully exhale everything that you have so you can take a deeper inhale. There you have it. Have a great day. Cheers.